lost a loved one. I dedicate this one to you, coming from my heart. So, every time me watching news, we hear about our next youth die, oh why? Every time me watching news, we hear about another mother cry, oh why? So I say, why, oh why? What him have to take his life, take his life. I say, why, oh why? What him have to take his life, take his life. I used to remember the other day, rolling on the coastal road. I used to remember.
Hey, good night to everybody out there, YouTube world and Facebook. So I'm streaming on Facebook under bapplay, and I'm also on YouTube under Marcel Palmer, right? And it's another Monday. So it's another half an hour of the everyday man. And hold on, give me a break.
The other day, sipping on some Hennessy. I used to remember the other day, rolling on the coastal road. I used to remember the other day, sipping on some Hennessy. So why, oh why? What him have to take his life, take his life. I say why, oh why? What him have to take his life, take his life. Every time me watching news, we hear about our next youth die, oh why? Every time me watching news, we hear about another mother cry, oh why?
Alright, we're back. A little technical issues, but we're back. So, like I was mentioning, it's another beautiful Monday, another episode of the Everyday People Belize. And it gives me a chance to speak to some of the situations, some of the stuff that are happening around us, right? And of course, get to share with you guys and give you some insight and ask you to share this thing. You know, it's on YouTube, it's on Facebook. Hopefully we can get it on other platform a little bit later on. But one of the first thing we definitely want to talk about is the fact that we're seeing again a rise in crime rate, right? And I don't know now if there's quite one solution that can fix all of the issues that we're having in our society today, but I know for sure that it's a societal issue, right? And of course, we're seeing more and more that people are not afraid to kill, or people are not afraid to hurt other people, which is kind of scary in a small society like Belize, right? And so we do have to offer some assistance wherever possible to talk to people, on a daily basis, especially people who you know are in problems or in trouble with someone, offer some advice. That's kind of the direction we're going. We can see that we're moving into the society now where people are caring less, and so we need to bring back some love into the society, right? I know some of the preachers, they do their work to spread the word of God, they do the church thing to try to assist, but how do we get the younger people then to connect back to society and say, all right, we can start loving and caring again? And of course, the COVID not help, and the whole separation not help. I think people are growing farther apart with this COVID situation. But again, we just have to hang in there and have a little hope that things will get better, right? But with that, I saw something positive on Facebook, and I want to share that with you guys. And I have several stories I want to share with you today. But there was this guy. Let me see if I can cross it over. Mr. Troy Gonzalez. Man, they do a thing in a PG town, and this is what I admire. The man, they do all the painting and the red markers, so big up Troy. They do a thing. He and Saddam, I think, they're out there to paint up, right? Saddam with the paintbrush. I know. I see Saddam Goodwill, right? So it's nice to see that they're working out there in the public. And I saw another guy over on the other side, and I don't know his name. I know I met him at the opening Pergolicious Studio, which again is a nice initiative. And they were putting down some concrete for a little sidewalk area there in the Central Park, right? So again, kudos to these guys doing their thing. That is something positive for our community. I wish more people would come out and help. And of course, Troy, if you need help one of these days, don't be afraid to hit me up, right? If I have a little bit of time, I could definitely stop by. And this is on point in terms of encouraging the other groups to come out and deal with some of the painting, which you notice one or two people did this, and again, that red marker stands out now, and he's doing it because that's where his work area is for the day, and so he's making sure that job site is well presentable, right? So whenever the buses or so forth stop in that area and they break whatever rule or laws there is, that he has everything on point. So again, big up to Troy for getting that done. Positive things in our community, we like that. I have to big up the town council for getting the backhoe back working, and we can see that backhoe around town now, and I still wonder why that backhoe was parked so long, but kudos to them for getting it back up and running. We definitely need it. Our town definitely needs an overhaul, right? But particular story I wanted to share with you guys tonight. I had a person came to my area, to my house, and spoke with me, and I guess what he was saying was nothing new, but it was something that was necessary, and he was of the opinion that nobody wanted to listen, right? And so I thought, you know what, why not make the world listen? And so I'll share some of what he told me. He came to my house about 6 o'clock in the morning, which was kind of strange, right? But nonetheless, you know what, the man spit some game for me. But he has to remain anonymous. An ageable guy. For people who live in PG, you guys will know him. But he was talking about the concept of people wanting to make money but not wanting to work for it, and how much ideas there were to get things done, and looking at some of the tie-ins that you had with different organizations and different set of people, and how we could uplift a place like Punta Gorda and be very progressive, and that's the word he used. And so he came to me because he thought, this is a good starting point. So you're sharing information out there that people need to know. And so it was something we mentioned a while back also. So he was talking about how do we manage or assist, how do we assist in the management of garbage situation, and not only in Punta Gorda town, this can be done throughout. And he was like, let's lean on the idea of we start separation of garbage, of what we throw away every day, and see if we could collect back something on that. And I know a lot of people have spoken to this, and I also added more into his idea. But I was doing some research on the Coke factory. They collect back plastic bottles, but there is no processing done here in Belize, and I'm still kind of lost as to why there is no processing of plastic done here in Belize. So what we do is that we collect all of those old plastic, and we collect all of those old metal. And he was talking particularly about the can. So he collect all of that, and we ship them over to Mexico, and then Mexico does the processing of those, turn it into something else, and then we buy it back, right? And when you look at it like that, you're like, man, but we're losing money that way. For the plastic, I know the Coke company, they actually take the bottle, make these large blocks of plastic, compress down as much as they could compress it, and then they send it off to Guatemala for processing. Now, what they do in Guatemala is that they simply shred it up, melt it back for those for the different types of plastic. They do the separation there also, and then turn it into a byproduct. And then from that product, then they sell us back in Belize, or they sell it to different parts of the world. But the thing is that we are producing all of this plastic and we're not doing anything with it. I went out to the Keys last week, and we did a little beach cleanup, and the amount of plastic we picked up was serious, right? But again, we have all of that garbage coming in because of the current that is flowing, and so we have all that piling up on our area here on the beach. And so I know some people use some of that sargassum for fertilizer and so forth. So these are things that will happen anyway throughout the year, and we always accumulate the plastic and other garbages. So what do we do with them? He was also telling me that the people who do recycling, that they actually just process about 2 or 3% of the total waste product that they receive. And so if we could develop some sort of comprehensive idea of how we can deal with the garbage situation and assist our community by keeping it clean, that would definitely be nice. And he had spoken to several organizations, several groups, but nobody seemed to want to grab it. And so I said, you know what, I want to look at it. I started to do some research on it, and I told him, you know what, the add in here is that we can't continue just packaging it. We need to find a way to process it. And so I wrote up to a company. Let me see if I can find the name. And I also shared this idea with the guy from Youth Development too. There is something called Precious Plastic, right? And they offer a starter kit. They have a nice website showing you everything that happens for their particular project that they are doing globally. Let me play a part of the video for you so you guys can hear this.
Plastic bottle.
Plastic waste.
An ocean of plastic trash.
Plastic.
Plastic. Plastic. Plastic.
Plastic.
Plastic.
Plastic.
Plastic.
Plastic is, well, it's everywhere.
So I guess by now you are quite aware of this big plastic waste problem. But all of this isn't really waste. With some love and care, the right machines, and with the right techniques, you will see that it's a precious material. This new precious material can be turned into big colorful sheets to make stuff with, a brick to construct walls, small functional objects, or fancy furniture. We, the Precious Plastic community, develop tools and machines to recycle plastic. And we've been doing that for 6 years, open source for free. And now it's time to take it to the next level. And we all need to work together fighting this massive problem. But how do we start? First, we need you to collect, clean and remove the label of your own plastic waste. And then bring it to a local precious plastic collection point. If you don't have a collection point or recycling community in your area, you can start your own recycling business and grow the community.
And that's a good idea, actually.
Starting a business might seem scary, so we created starter kits. The starter kits are a package of information with everything you need to start your own small workspace. We created different packages for different workspaces. You can, for example, start a sheet press workspace, or shred plastic into small flakes in a shredder workspace, or build machines and sell them to others. And they all work together on a local scale and are globally connected, sharing knowledge. And we call this the Precious Plastic Universe. So if you're an entrepreneur, you can start your own business. And if you're not into business, share it around with your neighborhood. Some of them might want to start a local recycle network. Visit preciousPlastic.com for more information.
Right, so that's definitely a plus in terms of having these out, and some of the products that they do, we can see there. So they have molds, and you can make different things with the molds and then resell them. And so you can turn into a business, you can turn into something that the town or cities can adapt in terms of reusing some of the old plastic. So my point is that there's a lot to do that we're not capitalizing on, and these are available from some of the different countries. The actual equipment needed is, some of it is pretty expensive and some of it is pretty cheap, but I'm sure that as a group some people will be able to write up some proposal or something and get these done, right? I checked on the price. I also emailed them about pricing, so I could check and see, see if this is affordable. And what I got, let me see if I can find that, was there were different prices for different parts of the machine. So I put that on screen. The granulator, and this one is from Plasticpreneur, and the granulator machine is about €6,000. That's about $15,000 Belize. So it's 2.3 something. And then they have the injector and so forth. So I send them an email. They send me back a quotation telling me the cost and some of the different. There's another email talking about some of the different things that we would need to get it into country, right? But total cost comes up to a little bit over $50,000 Belize. So it's not for the poor man, right? But as a group, I would encourage you to definitely look into it, and it can create something for our community itself, right? So definitely look into that. The one that I'm showing, let me show you guys this one. This is the same Plasticpreneur. These were the people I wrote up to, and plastic from waste stuff. They essentially did the same thing, where they have the machine. It is able to grind up the plastic, and then you can run it through an extruder that heats it up, and you can create 3D stuff and so forth, and sell back some of the stuff right in the country, make back the money over time. You're doing two things. You're assisting the environment, you're keeping the environment clean, and you're recycling the plastic that is there, plus you're making money, right? And so the returns will be further down the road, but you're contributing to the making of Belize a little bit greener, right? So that was the addition to the idea that he had. And so I told him that, that was the missing component, that yes, it's nice to have everything there and be able to, stack it up, and we want to send it out, but we need to start using it here. And I see a lot of people, I commend Tide for using the containers and filling up with soil and doing all of these different type of planting, container planting, and it shows then how much we are thinking, but we're not tying everything in as a community, right? He also spoke to the fact of the community garden, and this was part of it, where we could make different pots or different pottery that can be filled with soil. So possibilities are endless. So when people tell me that they hustle and they talk about hustling and they're out there, they're big, it's different, right? The hustling and this is that you bring stuff to the table, you bring stuff in for processing so you can earn a little money, right? The metal containers, again, we can mash those up as compressed as we could, and if we don't have the capability of processing them, then we can sell them. But let us see how we can process those first, and then we move into other things, right? So just sharing these, I found these quite interesting, and I thought, a lot of people they're not talking about these things, and these are ways of keeping our community clean and ways of making some money along that path. So we got to keep on jamming, we got to keep on working, and in these hard times, you need to find something else to do. I was talking to another friend of mine, and I told him that the days of just working the 9-to-5 job hours is decreased now, the 9-to-5 job, and then being satisfied with that, that should be over for us now. And so it means that our Belizeans need to find something else to do, right? And so it's the other jobs that will keep us alive. So maybe in the evening time, you have a weed eater, you go chop a yard for somebody. If you're doing this plastic thing, you can deal with that. Maybe you can do restoration of some wood around the place, create signs. There's so much different things that you can do to earn a little bit of extra cash. We have to look in that direction now if we are to survive in this era, especially because Belize is, and this is my own thoughts, Belize is now kicking out the middle class people, so we'll end up with really poor people, and we'll end up with really rich people, right? And so we have to fight to crawl up that ladder, so we can essentially survive, right, in our small country. But let me just get some of the comments before I close off here. That's interesting. Yeah, that's on YouTube. Charles Nunes here. Good night, guys. This is Or we can also use old refrigerators and freezers for plants. Yes, yes, definitely, definitely. A lot of wool containers can be used. I see a guy right in Indianville here does the tires, and he slices up the tires and he sells them and you can fill it up with soil. I see Pastor Teul also, he does cassava in tires, and what he does in terms of harvesting, and that was pretty particular, was that whenever it's time to harvest the cassava, he just turn the tire over, everything falls out nice, right? And so he knows then you can plant cocoa, you can plant cassava, and the harvesting is easy. And then he takes the same soil, breaks it up again, and throw it back in with some chicken manure, and then goes on to the next crop, right? So you're reusing everything. And then because the bottom is open, it means that whenever that root want to goes down for water, it can, right? So definitely we have a lot of stuff we can use. It's just a matter of us trying to find ways to use what is around us to make that extra income, right? King's a hero. We mentioned the man that does some photography now. He has a Nikon camera. Check the man out, the man to practice. Man who has a love to. Book a leaf photo shoot to the man do it free right now. I know, and our pull back for the word free for the man in a while, check, because the man to practice, so you need to learn, and I tell people we learn by doing, right? And so we have to try something new. There's a lot that you can do online, and this is particularly for the young people. There's a lot you can do online and make some money from it, but you need to start. Right? Good. Alright, that's where I'll stop for tonight. I think I'm at 22 minutes, right? Let's see if there's any other comments I can read. So kind of a different night. I kind of wanted to share some positive stuff that is happening and not all negative, because I mean our community is plagued with crime right now, and I'm scared to go out. I'm scared to walk around because you don't know who will be next, and you see all of these things with the police playing out, and I guess everybody just have to be careful. So guys, just be careful during the week. School starts again, online, semi-online, paper-based. We just have to work it out and hope for the best. But that's where I'll stop for tonight. And I'll see you guys next week, Monday.
So I say, why, oh why? What if I take his life, take his life, I say, why, oh why? What if I take his